Well, we got our next guest on the line here. We've got Michael Caridi, CEO of Tree of Knowledge International Corp.
Yeah, that had a big move recently.
They did. How are you today, my good sir?
Very well.
How are you doing?
New York City here.
Very nice. Hopefully you got to escape a lot of the snow that we got over here in Toronto, but you probably got hit with it just the same, I can imagine.
It was very cold. It's actually starting to warm up a bit today, fortunately.
Very nice, very nice. Well, hey, one of the first things I'd actually like to start this off with, first and foremost, is you had an incredible move on your stock on Monday. And I'm trying to find like a news release or a great article come out. I couldn't find. Do you know what happened to have that much volume and that much share price appreciation in just a short amount of time?
I really don't. I think people are finally starting to understand what we do have. And we have a very compelling story. We have one of the largest patient populations in Canada and access to the largest patient population through our new alliance with Jack Nathan Health. There's over 72 clinics, over 2 million patients, and we have an exclusive relationship with Jack Nathan Health, which are throughout the Walmart clinics, Walmarts in Canada. So there's 74 locations and literally 2 million patient visits a year that we will be educating the doctors and the patients on our products and the benefits of CBD and cannabis products.
Fantastic, fantastic. And when it comes to looking into CBD and other cannabinoids, what are you finding right now that are you looking into what different cannabinoids will help certain ailments, or what are you finding that you're really seeing like this could really be something fantastic for these patients? There already is, saying you had 2 million patients, that's fantastic. What are you finding is the big trend right now, or the big, realization of how much this can change the lives of these people, of these patients?
Well, it's been evident to us as a company. We started mid-2015, and we got approvals in Brazil, and we've been selling to patients with epilepsy and Alzheimer's and cancers. And down there, it's considered a medicine, and the government actually pays for it. And it's amazing the lives that we are changing, and the more people are starting to realize the benefits, the more they're being attracted to it. As I mentioned, in Brazil, there's about 40 million people with chronic pain, which is something that we will be going after. And so it's a huge market. We have, on epilepsy, we have close to, I'd say about 300 patients currently on our products. And we've educated about 2,000 doctors. And it's so new, with the recent passage of the Farm Bill in the U.S., there hasn't been much research going on, but now, finally, you're starting to see research.
Yeah, it's an interesting point you made there, actually, because I remember reading, whether it be last year or possibly even the year before, that a lot of these medical clinics were very angry because they kept being blocked from having certain cannabis strains and different things to come in so they can start doing the proper research on it. And that's why I always looked at Canada and also Israel, where they've been working on finding out a lot of these different properties of cannabis and how it can really affect the human body for some time. But now, like you said, with the passage of the Farm Bill, that you're saying that opens up that area a little bit more. These doctors and these scientists have a little bit more ability to do that on your own soil?
Yes, that's correct. So we're in partnership with a group out of Toronto called the Toronto Polyclinic, and we have ongoing research through Dr. Kevin Rod, who's a renowned cannabis doctor, and he has research with Ryerson, McMaster's, Toronto University. We have targeted studies for CBD and ultrasound. So really cutting-edge technology that is so brand new that really people do not know about it.
Yeah, I think many people still do not. There's a lot of opportunity to be able to grow in this way, both through the medical side of actual doctors, but especially on the other side, the patients, the people seeking help for their certain ailments. I think it's going to be a very, very interesting next few years. Going into the rest of this year, what is your main focus on the growth of your company? What can investors look at and think, this is why I want to buy in this company, this is what I'm really hopeful for, this is the growth that I'm going to be able to potentially see?
Well, right now we're in discussions with a number of strategics. And, as I mentioned, with the largest patient population, we have the ability to have our doctors prescribe products, and having a strategic alliance with some of the large LPs will be able to encourage the patients to go to LPs that we're aligned with. So you're going to start to see us ramp up pretty quickly. You're going to start to see revenues ramp up pretty quickly. And we're not only a Canadian play, we're a U.S. play, we're a South American play. We're also selling into Ireland and soon some of the other European countries. We just signed a deal in the UK with a group for distribution. We are starting to talk to some of the larger retailers in the U.S. market. So it's a global play with what we have, and we're quite frankly just getting started.
Yeah, it's very interesting to hear the different areas abroad as well, because their medical markets are growing incredibly rapidly in different areas throughout the UK and what have you. So it's interesting that that's going to be a massive market, and it's interesting how they've created this whole system that they have, because they're allowing medical cannabis and they're allowing these things to start going, but they really don't have that many producers yet. They're slower behind that, which gives the advantage to anybody who can access those areas for exporting. So it's actually I think the next 1 to 3 years is going to be a big advantage until they, or if they ever, catch up in that front.
I would agree. And, with Canada, there's 30 some odd million people, and I think maybe you're up to about 140 or 150 licenses. So there will be a long time to catch up to the marketplace. Just to put it in perspective, we have an operation in Spokane, Washington. There's 1,200 licenses for 8 million people. So we think there's a tremendous upside in the Canadian area. And, having this research that we have with the universities, having the know-how of Dr. Rod and his ongoing research in clinicals. He has various patents for opioid reduction and some of these other areas that will be very impactful. And as more and more people really get educated on the benefits of CBD and THC products, it's going to just keep growing and growing.
Yeah, very nice to hear. For other investors who are looking a little bit more about learning about your company, where's the website or information they can look into to find a little bit more about you?
Sure, it's TOKI, TOKI Corp, CORP.ca. So
Absolutely.
You can go right on the website there. And we also have our product website. It's the EVR brand, EVR brand, and that's EVR, Edward Victor Robert, CBD.com. And we have a whole variety of products from sleep to dosing control devices, which we own the rights to patents on as well. We have salves, we have capsules, tinctures. We're also developing a whole pet line as well.
Very interesting. Well, again, I appreciate your time very much for coming on the show and explaining to our investors a little bit more about you, answering a few questions as well. Some of your products are showing up in the background here, which is fantastic to see. You've heard where their websites are. You can always go back and push rewind to hear that again, to look in a little bit more for you. And I just appreciate your time. Looking forward to have you on the show again in the very near future.
Thank you so much. Looking forward.